So the scientists of today say between 12,000 and 4,000 years ago, the Sahara Desert was a lush green area, filled with lakes, forests, and all sorts of animals, right? But today it is the hottest, largest desert in the world, and it's only behind Antarctica and the Arctic, behind just overall largest desert. So just something to keep in mind as I go through the video: modern Africa. So just below the Sahara, the middle of Africa, basically, just below it, it's all green, and it has some of the largest forests in the world, right? Specifically in the Congo. And there's so much biodiversity that hasn't been discovered. And it's a forest that's largely unexplained, right? It's one of the largest, most biodiverse forests in the world. So just keep in mind that fact as I go through the other facts in the video. So the top of Africa is bone dry, middle towards the bottom is full of life, right? And Africa is supposed to be the hottest continent in the world. Yet all this wildlife and vegetation exists. So in the Eastern Sahara, there's an area called the Great Sand Seaglass. So basically it's just a large area that's filled with fragments that can be found over tens of square kilometers. And all these little fragments of glass, its origin is unknown. So many geologists, right, quote unquote geologists of the day, say the glass is associated with radioactive melting. So something radioactive happened in that area that caused the sand to melt and form this glass that we know of. So it's also, they speculate that it's the emission of electromagnetic waves from large bursts or explosions from an artillery shell or nuclear weapon. So that is a possible origin of these glass fragments. Electromagnetic waves that are released when an explosion from an artillery shell or a nuclear weapon happens. So large explosions, or even larger explosions like a nuclear weapon, emitting these electromagnetic waves, causing the sand to become this glass that's just all spread out through this area of Africa. And they say that this glass is very similar to something called trinitite, which is formed when sand is exposed to thermal radiation of a nuclear explosion. So they're saying it's very, very similar to this compound called trinitite, which is formed when sand is exposed to thermal radiation of a nuclear explosion. So explosions, right, is a big possible reason as to why Africa is the way it is. So scientists say it's because of changing weather patterns. Wow, changing weather patterns caused this area of just nothingness to evolve, to just sprout out. And how come the rest of Africa wasn't affected? So it just affected the top of Africa, right? Fishy stuff. So I'm just laying out the facts. You come to your own conclusions. So they say that this trinitite needs 1600 degrees Celsius to form. Something to keep in mind is that the center of a detonation from a bomb, from your typical artillery shell, is 3,000 to 4,000 degrees Celsius. So like I said earlier in the video, scientists speculate that this sand was formed from the aftershock, right? Not just from aerial explosions. So the heat is obviously going to dissipate from where the artillery shell exploded in midair to where the sand is, right on the ground. So it's not going to be as hot as the center. The center of the explosion is going to be way hotter than, a few feet away from it. So it's definitely within that range of possibility, 1600 to 3000. 3000 being the center of the explosion. The heat's going to dissipate, and depending on how high the explosion went off or how far away from the sand it was, it's definitely possible. So they're saying that the Kibera crater, again found in the Sahara, is the origin of all this sea glass that just covers tens of square kilometers. So the Kibera crater is 31 kilometers in diameter, and this crater supposedly, they speculate, was formed during meteor impact. So just replace the word meteor with bomb as I go through these facts, right? They say it was melting caused by an airburst from an asteroid. Again, replace the word asteroid with you know what, or other object burning up high in the Earth's atmosphere. So you take a look at some pictures of bomb craters and meteor craters, and they look exactly the same, just exactly the same. And you know, for people that are saying, "Oh, it was a meteor," where did the meteor go? The government just got it and took it, right? It's total BS. Total BS. Have you ever seen a meteor fall from the sky? Anywhere in the world, have you ever heard of it, of any news of a meteor impacting Earth? From all the years that you've been alive. So, again, was the Sahara Desert, again, formed due to weather changes? Or was there some sort of just nuclear explosions or bomb explosions in this area in our distant past that, you know, is being hidden away from us? So again, you draw the conclusions, but this looks like, to me, it has all the evidence of some sort of you know, man-made disaster. And all these places with weird weather throughout the world, you see very similar facts, or facts, quote unquote, right? You see very similar details. Remember, Antarctica and the Arctic are the largest deserts in the world. Again, they have extreme weather. The question is it natural or was it man-made? And why aren't we allowed to explore those regions? You know, that just raises more red flags. Why aren't we allowed to look beyond? If it's just a desert as they say it is, why not let people or scientists look further? And an interesting parallel that I just noticed is, or that I noted is, in the movie Divergent, you know, the people are not allowed to go past a certain area of their land, but once they start exploring the outside world, they see all these craters, right? And these areas that just have the weirdest weather, right? Like just complete wasteland filled with these craters and areas of land with just the most extreme weather. You can call that a coincidence, but that's super rare, man. You can just say, oh, it's just a coincidence, right? It's just a movie. But like I've said many times in my videos, the truth is revealed to us in plain sight. Another connection, another parallel that I noticed. In One Piece, there's this island called Punk Hazard. And after a fight between two characters happened, the weather of the island was completely thrown off. So just extreme weather on one side of the island and extreme weather on the other side. Again, man-made weather, or just areas of land with weird weather that was caused by people. Anyways, I'm just theorizing and presenting these things or findings that I've noticed. Just fishy things that I noticed that should raise red flags. Or you can just you come up with your own conclusions. You can just believe what the scientists, quote unquote, say. It's just a meteor, you know, weird weather over thousands of years. Nothing to see here. Or if you could do your own research, and you'll quickly find out that there's a lot of weird facts, right, surrounding these things. Anyways, guys, just an interesting one that I noticed. Some interesting parallels. Thank you so much for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.